And welcome in everybody to Fryman. Here came Pepe the Second, bringing you the latest news on Brownness 2, and it's actually on the lovely and sexy Ventana. Okay, so before we hop into it, like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you enjoy Brownness 2 nudes. Oh my god, no, news. Oh my gosh, not yet, right? with the waifus, but Brownness 2 news, guides, and everything else in between. I got you covered. But before we hop into it again, like I said, sorry about that. Guys, it's early, okay? I'm still pretty sick, so I do apologize if my voice is a little raspy. And yeah, so let's head into it, okay? Damn, right? Okay, so here we go. Brown Desk 2. Okay, so the latest developer notes actually is discussing the interaction scene with Ventana. So in case you guys didn't read it or hear about it yet, I got you. So let's go take a look. Okay. So here it is, guys. Okay, so the apology and update plan for Ventana's interaction direction changes. Okay, so I'm gonna read it, and then we're gonna look into it. It's not a, well, I wouldn't really say it's a big change. I guess, I'm happy about it. Yes, definitely happy, but I wouldn't say it's like, the news that happened like over 2.5 weeks ago, right? Okay, so here we go. This is Junhee Lee, project director of Brown Desk 2. We've reviewed your feedback regarding the black shadow effect in Ventana's interaction. First, we sincerely apologize for the confusion and frustration this presentation caused. Okay, so what do they mean by this? Well, in case you guys didn't look or do Ventana's Fade Guest story and didn't unlock it yet for the interaction scene, then it's basically saying that during her interaction scene, I can't necessarily show you it just because it's obviously YouTube would definitely flag this video. So, but it is going to show some screenshots when we get below. Okay, it'll be a lot easier to visualize. Okay, so there were these like black bars that indicated like, a more intimate, closer, supposed to be at least, supposed to have that feel where you were actually, I guess, all over her, and that's why there was like these black bars there, supposed to indicate that sort of feel or atmosphere. And a lot of people didn't really take too kindly to it, and it also had a lot to do with how, you know, players started to see that as, are they trying to censor this in some way or form because of what happened? Obviously, the drama that happened back last month in the beginning, when they did their live stream. So a lot of questions were raised. And, I think that's a fair point that, people were concerned. So I understand that. Okay, so here we go. Update plan. The black shadow effect will be removed entirely. This will be addressed in the February 11th update. Okay, so it's the 2nd, correct? So 8 more days. Or, well, depending on where you live, so 8. For us, it's 9 over in global. We want to clearly state that the black shadow was not implemented as a censorship measure. It was an artistic slash directing choice, and we like to share the intent behind it. Okay, so one thing right off the bat I would love to just address here is it is very nice that the devs actually are telling us this. Okay? This is something I mentioned back when I did that video, covering that incident that happened with the censorship and everything um, earlier last month. So I'm very happy that the devs are actually addressing this to us now and actually giving us, you know, more of an in-depth reason as to, because I read this already, and I was very happy about it. This is what I feel a lot of devs should more or less do when it comes to being a little bit more detailed as to why. Okay, and you'll see right, you hear it right here. Okay, so the creative intent. Sorry about that. The overall concept of Ventana's interaction was lying together on a bed, being close at her side, and then pulling the blanket over to imply a more intimate moment. Since other characters already have on the bed interactions, the team aimed to create a stronger sense of closeness, like you're truly interacting with Ventana under the blanket skin to skin. Okay? So, why we use the black shadow? We took inspiration from certain adult ASMR videos where the face is intentionally kept out of frame and the mood is conveyed only through subtle cues like the movement of the jaw. We felt that this approach could sometimes create stronger imagination and tension, and we believed a similar technique could deliver a richer, more intimate atmosphere in our interaction as well. Because of that, We decided that rather than relying on what is clearly shown, the key would be how the unseen area is directed. In our minds, the core of the scene was the mood that could be felt beyond the blank or beyond the blacked out area, and we focused our production around that idea. For the same reason, the visible portion outside the shadow was designed with minimal direct elements from the start, since our intent was to build the atmosphere through what's implied, not what's explicitly shown. Okay? We developed the scene while imagining the player lying right next to Ventana. As you get closer, the surroundings darken, creating the feeling that it's just the two of you under the blanket. With a sense of close space and no unnecessary distractions, that is what we aim to express through the shadow. However, in practice, we ended up needing to apply excuse me, needing to apply the black shadow across much wider area than expected, and as a result, it came across as an unpolished and low effort presentation. Below is the climax. My gosh, sorry, I'm gonna cough again. Um, okay. Below is the climax scene that was shown this time. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the climax scene. It's gonna be very quick, so if you want to pause it and see for yourself what it is, feel free to in the video. But I'm gonna just go by it quick because obviously YouTube being YouTube. Okay, so here it is. This is the climax scene. It shows Ventana. Obviously, that part was completely uncensored. It was completely visible. Okay, in case, like I said, you want to see what it was again, just go back a little ways and just pause the video, and you'll see what I mean. So they actually showed everything, which was a big win. Not to mention, very sexy, very steamy, and obviously what a lot of us want, right? Just like myself. So compared to other sequences, my God, can I talk? That do not use the black shadow effect, this scene delivers an even stronger atmosphere and intensity. With that in mind, we would like to carefully clarify that the black shadow was not intended to reduce the level of expression. It was simply a stylistic choice made during the directing process. Okay? So basically, like I said earlier, the black shadow was more of a, I guess, an artistic vision as to deliver a more intimate or, as they say, closeness with Ventana. And it was supposed to express, I guess, in some ways, have more of the player visualize instead of actually seeing. Does that make sense? I think that's what they were trying to imply with that. Obviously, a lot of people didn't really like it. They would just rather see the full on, them going at it. You know what I'm trying to say? Which I don't blame them. But yeah, so I think that's basically what in a nutshell this was saying. Direction going forward. We will remove the black shadow entirely and adjust any awkward motion that becomes noticeable after removal. Okay, so I'm going to show you some more images from the game. Okay, now mind you, like I said before, pause it because I'm going to go, straight through it just because, I don't want this video being flagged, so I can show you guys this freely with the video. Okay, so here it is. So these are like 5 interaction types of scenarios where you find yourself with Ventana. It's going to show the top one being with the black bar, and then below it, the changes that we're going to see. Okay? So here they are. So before changes, so you see the black bar. So I can show you this because of the black bar. So this is like one of them, right? Okay, so the change after changes, this is what it's going to be. So feel free to pause it really quickly, guys, okay? Interaction direction 2 before changes. Okay, so, shows a little too much there still. YouTube, why'd you have to do this, right? Why'd you have to be YouTube? Okay, so interaction direction 2 before changes. So quick glimpse, you see that? And then after changes, feel free to pause it, okay? Feel free to pause the video. Interaction direction 3 before changes. Okay, so this I can show you. So like she's covered up at the bottom, right? Then after changes, real quick, pause it. Feel free to. Interaction direction 4 before changes. So here's a little bit more. So you see the shadow, right? Then after changes, okay, real quick, pause the video if you want to see it. Boom, right? Interaction direction 5 before changes. This is the last one now. You see Ventana here. And then after changes, feel free to pause this. There it is. Okay, so there you have it. Now, if you went back and you paused it in my video to see what the changes were what the changes are going to be after and what is currently, in the game right now, you're going to see that, yes, they really did deliver on what they promised and what they're going to promise us in the future with black bars, so to say, not being in any other interaction scenes. So that's something that I'd say is a very big win. Not to mention, they really did listen to a lot of the feedback that the players did base this off of. So, like I said, they are listening, guys. Okay, they are listening, and I know that they want to regain the community's trust because of what happened last month. So I would say this is a big step. Well, I should say another big step because obviously they gave away the prestige skin for Liberta, and also kept a lot of the uncensorship that they were going to change initially last month but didn't. And they also talked about a little bit, actually, about a topic about areolas, which I'll get into. But let me read the rest of this. So, we won't give up Round 2's bold presentation and unique tone. At the same time, we will continue to refine how we deliver it, striving for interactions that feel more natural, convincing, and polished. We believe many of you enjoy Brownless 2 because of its high quality illustrations and bold presentation, and we understand that there are a core part of the game's appeal. That's why, without your trust and expectations, our characters' skill cutscenes and interaction content lose their meaning. As we work to rebuild trust around concerns of censorship, we recognize that this presentation could understandably be seen as suspicious or misleading. Our execution and judgment were not good enough. Going forward, we will not use fully opaque black shadows in interactions. We need to represent the player's presence. We'll only use limited, semi-transparent elements such as blurred hand or small body part. We apologize again for the confusion, and we will work to deliver clearer, more polished interactions in the future. Thank you. Okay, so that was the end of their update for this. But yeah, so what do you guys think? For anybody out there, too, any Brown 2 player that might have lost a lot of trust with the devs concerning last month, how do you feel about this? Do you feel like you're starting to, see a good direction again in your perspective? I just like to ask these questions. Just, any comments down below, feel free to discuss them. But yeah, I personally see that, this is a big step, another big one, like I said, because they gave us Liberta's uncensored, interaction scene with the prestige skin. Obviously, they gave it for free, You had a lot of time to claim it, by the way, and you still do. So there's no excuse if you haven't claimed it yet. But yeah, so I'd say this is a big step. And not to mention, does this also lead into Angelica's? Because, the thing is, Angelica also had a scene in her interaction, which I can actually show you, because it does cover up a lot of it. Well, not a lot of it, but I feel safe. I feel it's safe enough to get away with. So, Angelica's here, right? So, for example, if you go here, I'll show this real quick, right? So, if you go here, right? So, you can kind of see a transparent feel to it. You can sort of see it, right? So, are they actually then going to change that? You know what I'm saying? Is that going to be something that's going to be changed for her? Makes you think too, right? But yeah, so, I just wanted to talk about that, and also going back to what I was initially saying with the areolas. Okay, so now somebody posted this on the subreddit. Not too sure, if it might happen anytime soon, but take it for what you want with it. I'll bring it up real quick, just because we're on the topic of all this. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to just discuss it. So it was a post on the subreddit, and it was about a week ago, 8 days ago, to be exact. So, I'll show you the article right here. It's right here. So, devs will start subtly showing Areola. I know. Mind the tabs, I know. For those who missed it, the devs had to sit down with some Korean players and had a discussion about various topics. One of those topics included areolas, to which the devs confirmed they're going to start subtly showing them. So, they said, to which the devs confirmed, right? So here's the source of the full player sit down. You can find the part about the areolas under section 19, which I actually do have it open and translated. But it also says this. So keep in mind that this AI translated, so take that for what you will, they said, okay? Some other tidbits I found important. Next prestige skin will be a magic unit. Shada's alt confirmed at some point. New story with the master will include multiple parallel worlds. Think the Marvel multiverse, they said. And then let me know if you missed anything important. Okay, so yeah. So this was something, like I said, that was brought up. Now, I don't know, because when I looked at it with the AI, myself as well. It was in some way a little questionable um, because of like the title of it, which was, let's see right here, right? So the censorship and collaboration direction, like I said, this I think was translated wrong. But yeah, like this is why they said, take it for what it is because it's translated and everything. Areola expression is right here, as you can see. So let me just read it. It is true that I did not pay attention to it because it was not a design with areola expression in mind from the beginning. Now that we have confirmed the needs of users, from now on, a way to express colors differently, we plan to reflect. Um, I think it's supposed to say things naturally. So, in case you guys didn't know or were aware of this, right? And this is just a topic about the areolas, guys. I know there's a lot in this sit down conversation that they had, but I'm just gonna cover this because this has a lot to do with maybe this video. So if you look now, I can't show it to you unfortunately with Blade or Liberta because flag video, right? But if you look and you have Onsen Blade unlocked, and you look at her skill interaction scene when she's in the hot spring cutting the egg, right? If you look very closely to her chest, you do notice some expression of like, and I'll say it, just because we're all adults here, guys, okay? But they show actually her tits, and you can see like the outlines of them, right? And if you look even closer to it, you can sort of see that what they were doing with, I guess, like the shading or the coloring of the tit is actually a little bit shown. You can actually kind of see it, form there. Now, like I said, you have to look very closely and look at it, but it is very noticeable. Um, Another thing I wanted to point out too was Liberta's wallpaper. So when you complete Yoma Busters and you unlock the last one for her, where the yokai is fanning her, right? You do notice that if you look closely at her chest too, there's it's like a little slight pinkish. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but you can see for yourself if like it's true or not. But like it's like a slight pink, indicating like her tit. So like I said, you know, I think that they are actually showing it, right? But that's just me. That's just my opinion about it, And but I think it is actually true. But with that being said, guys, that's all I wanted to show you, discuss, and the future changes that we'll be seeing with the game. Not to mention added things. Okay, so I know our expectations at the moment for a lot of us might be, a little like half and half because of what happened. But guys, keep in mind, a lot of that decision wasn't really with the devs. It was that regional management BS. Okay, but just keep in mind they want to deliver us the content. They want to keep us as their target audience because not a lot of games do a lot of this nowadays, and it's very difficult. I know, but as long as we keep giving positive feedback and showing support, okay, to the devs with this, I'm really sure that we are going to be seeing more uncensored content and even more heavier fan service with the game because Brown 2 is actually, in my eyes, one of the most heavy fan service games out there right now. And if you want to have a game with that sort of target audience to your appeal, like myself, because I love uncensored games, I love having some, sexual themes to them as well. Okay? I'm not going to lie about that. Okay? But yeah, so I really do enjoy this game because of it too, as well. Along with, obviously I love the strategic build and stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted to really discuss and showcase and all that. So with that being said, you all have a good one, and I'll catch you all in the next Brown 2 video with the latest. And I'll see you all during their live stream, which is going to be on February 6th. So keep that in mind, mark the date, and I'll catch you then, guys. Oh yeah, it's going to be at, well, if you're on the East Coast, it's 5 a.m., okay? Because it's UTC time, because they're going to be starting at 10 a.m. So yeah, I'll try my best to wake up early to cover it. But yeah, with that being said, take care.